Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. We're gonna jump right into this, man. Got the Super Bowl edition, Hall of Fame / Hall of Fame edition. I'll be talking about a couple of different things tonight. I might do 3 or 4 shows tonight, so y'all just go ahead and bear with a brother and everything like that. For y'all jokers, this new subscribers or whatever, check out the old videos and everything like that. I'm trying to get to it. I'm kind of doing this. I've been winging it for the past year and a half, close to 2 years. And I'm getting the hang of it and stuff like that. So, just bear with me. I got some things coming up under the sleeve and stuff that I'm going to bring out as well. But right now, this is kind of like a little segment that I might start pulling out called Did You Know That? And this is something that I found out thanks to, when you, to find out information on the internet, which is a great thing. A lot of different information and whatnot that we all have that we can find out different stats and different things from older players. Like I said, I'm a big historian of the game and whatnot. But one of the things that I wanted everybody to know that since the Super Bowl has been played, this will be the 53rd Super Bowl if I'm not mistaken, and since the Super Bowl era and whatnot, you have had Aaron Donald, who had 20.5 sacks for the year. He's the 8th sack leader, right? He's the 8th sack leader that is playing in the Super Bowl. And with him being the 8th sack leader, it was 7 obviously before him. And those sack leaders, right, on those teams have went 5-2. Let me run down the line to you real quick of some of the sack leaders that have played this game. Going back to the first player in the Super Bowl era to be the sack champ and to win a Super Bowl was Bill Stansfield, who had 18.5 sacks for the Miami Dolphins. He played that in Super Bowl 8. I think that might have been in 1973, 74, one of those Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken. 1973, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Miami Dolphins went to 3 straight Super Bowls in 71, 72, 73. Or you can say, the Super Bowl year, because the year changed, 72, 73, 74. Okay? And he played, like I said, 18.5 sacks. The next one would come 4 years later. That would be that of Harvey Martin from my Dallas Cowboys, Harvey Martin. He had 20 sacks. And remember, this is before they start making sacks an official stat, which didn't happen until, I think, 1982, I believe. Harvey Martin had 20 sacks. That was in Super Bowl 12. Plus, he was a defensive MVP of the Super Bowl with the great Randy White. Just about, I guess you want to say it didn't happen after that. 2 years later, it was made by Jack Youngblood of the Los Angeles Rams, where he actually had. Let me see how many sacks Youngblood had. Youngblood had 18 sacks. He had 18 sacks that year. They would lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was a pretty good game for a minute, and then the Steelers just blew it away, and they lost that particular game. That was in 79 season, 1980 Super Bowl. 5 years later, Richard Dent, with that 85 Bears, defense in the 86 Super Bowl 20, Dent had 17 sacks. He had 17 sacks there in Super Bowl 20. If you go back and then the next year, Lawrence Taylor, who was the MVP of the league. You know what I'm saying? He was the MVP of the league as well as Defensive Player of the Year. 20.5 sacks that particular year. In Super Bowl 21, they would win that Super Bowl. Some 21, some, I don't know, close to like 13 years later, you go back up into Super Bowl, what's the Super Bowl? Kevin Carter, right? Kevin Carter, Super Bowl 34. Which would be in the 99 season. He led with 17 sacks, and that was years later, where he had 17 sacks, and the Rams won that particular Super Bowl. And so you're looking at from Lawrence Taylor, that was 86, 96. Talking about 13 years later, when another sack leader, they actually got into that of the Super Bowl and actually had a chance to win it, which was Kevin Carter. Like I said, he had 17 sacks. And that was Super Bowl 34, which the Rams won. After that, it had been a while from 99 to Super Bowl 51, and Super Bowl 34, Super Bowl 51. You have where Vic Beasley, I think it was a rookie at the time, or a second-year guy, whatever, for that of the Atlanta Falcons. He had 15.5 sacks, led the league, and they would lose to the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 51, and we already know how that went. The reason why this thing is so deep is the fact that Aaron Donald is the third Ram. So the Rams have had the most sack leaders in the Super Bowl era that have played in the Super Bowl, which is crazy when you think about it. And with saying that in the 7 games where it was the sack leader is playing in those 7 Super Bowls, the sack leader and his team, they are 5-2. They are 5-2. So that's something within itself. And Donald is the 8th, and he's the third Ram to pull this particular feat off with 20.5 sacks. And his thing is so amazing just for the simple fact that Aaron Donald is interior line. He's a defensive tackle. I mean, this guy is becoming a legend already. A legend. If he wins a Super Bowl, that's going to take his legend to the next level, because I've always pretty much said I hold the defensive tackles and whatnot that I hold in a certain type of reverence. And he's kind of stand by himself, and there's a couple of other guys, but he kind of stands by himself when it is guys like me and Joe Green. Joe Green, and then you got what's my man's name? Played for the Vikings, right? And that's the thing about John Randall. And John Randall, as well as that of my man Warren Sapp. These guys have motors and stuff like that, but I honestly think, I don't know if the Rams, we'll see what ends up happening, but at the same time, like, it's just the playing the position right now. It's at about 6 foot, 285 pounds. My man he's quick. I watched him in Pittsburgh when he played in Pittsburgh, the University of Pitt. He took home every piece of hardware. And when you got guys that come from out of college, and they coming from out of college, and once they come from out of college, and they continue to doing their dominance in the NFL, that's got to count for something. So right now, he's on a whole nother level right now, and probably getting ready to win, if they haven't already announced it yet, because I think it's going on right about now. His second straight Defensive Player of the Year award, and I really want to see him get that award, and most of all, I want to see him get that Super Bowl and whatnot, get that Super Bowl ring. But yeah, but the sack leaders, you have had 8 of them so far. With Donald makes 8, but right now they're sitting at 5-2. So that's a little something that you guys should possibly looking at. And like I said, Rams have had the most. Right now, the Rams are 1-1 with the sack leader and winning the Super Bowl. And then they have their other one coming up tomorrow. So we'll see what happens after that. Like I said, I'll do a little something after the game is over with. Either I'll be gloating about, because I told you I already took the Rams NFC team. I've already took the Rams, so we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, man. But like I said, Aaron Donald is a special cat. But that is a stat that I think everybody needs to look at, because everything is going to start with up front with this particular game, and that's just something that we need to go ahead and take a look at and make sure that it's going to. I think that's going to be the thing of the game. Nobody from San Diego down to that of Kansas City made any adjustments. I don't think the Rams are going to play around. If they got to blitz him, they got to blitz him. They got to do whatever they got to do to stop Brady and whatnot. All right, guys? We're going to be back in a minute. I got a lot more to talk about. All right, see you guys in a second.